um, coming off from some strong plays at intervarsities this year, and they'll be playing against Vision, a team from Liverpool, who are actually on Dave's stag do this weekend. So some fun plays to follow. That's a pull up from Jack Mack, which goes straight out over towards the commentator's box over here. The score is 1-0 to Trinity so far. That goal scored by Andrew Cleary. So Vision are to be taking this from the brick mark now.
Looks like they're looking for the brick mark.
They're marked by orange cones on the pitch, but there seems to be some confusion with that white line in the middle of the pitch. So number 7, Paddy Hart, he sounds quite Irish, passes over to Alex Nicholson. See if they can work their way through. 2 layouts and a turnover there. Brian picks it up and looks for Jamesy in the middle. That's JJ running the play there in the middle, running over to this near sideline towards the commentator box. The wind coming into our faces up here, and
slight bobble just in the end zone there from Aaron Heary, number 24. He told me he was feeling invincible before the game, so hopefully he'll come back strong from that.
So Vision now walking it up to the corner of the end zone. It's a tricky spot to have the disc with the wind in your face. Alex looking for his dump up the line, and Brian intercepts that again and is looking to center into JJ. Trinity trying to sort themselves in the middle to tidy up that stack, swinging it across the disc. Jack Mack looking for a cutter on the end zone line. Breen takes that and goes into JJ in the end zone. Can he get it? Just in the corner. Great goal from Trinity. Well done.
That's great stuff. Interesting to see JJ running the offense there in the middle of the pitch. He's been playing for so many years, 3 years. So relatively speaking, on that team, he's a relatively inexperienced player. So it's good to see that they're developing their players like that. JJ was also telling me about his he's been practicing his inside flicks, so hopefully we'll see a few of those in this game to come.
And a lot of these Trinity players would have come up together playing on the youth scene, Josh?
Absolutely, yeah. I see at least 4 XVI players at the moment, or currently playing for XVI. They used to play for Gonzaga, I think, and would also have all played on their junior teams for national junior teams, right? So all went to college in Trinity and are now all running the show. So I assume we'll see a lot of big plays from them and see them really bringing it to all the other teams at this tournament too. But for now, we'll just see them playing Vision. Sorry. It's a wild and windy day here in Limerick. What more could you expect? I'll hand it back over to you as the pull goes up, I think.
All right, so we're looking for Trinity to be taking the pull now. It looks like Breen has his hand up and waiting for Vision. Big pull coming down towards this near side of the pitch, and Vision are looking to work it up the full length. Working a lot through the handlers, Vision are at the moment. It's Paddy Hart and Nick Brownbill at the back, and a great D from from Benno, and Trinity try to squeeze it in there, and Vision just getting the defense.
Very physical defense there. A lot of arms and limbs going all around the place, and the wind not helping, of course, too. Popping discs up over people.
So Vision picking up in the corner and seeing if they can work it back down again. That hook going straight to Paul. He centers it into Owen, and Brian is looking to hook it down to Jack. Will he make it up? Great catch from Jack Mack in the end zone. Oh, that's Benno. I keep mixing them up.
Very similar style of play for sure between Benno and Jack Mack, but very athletic players. very good running mechanics, very good jumping mechanics, and you expect them to come down with anything as well. Anything that goes up, they will probably come down with. Just there as well. Seeing a very awkward disc, I would have said. It was coming in from maybe behind his shoulder, sitting weirdly on the wind, and with a defender on it as well. And yet Benno will always get his hand to it.
Both very athletic. That's why I keep mixing them up. Is it?
Sorry, that's why I mixed them up anyway. They also are very far away. They also are very far away.
So Vision bringing it in. Looks like a bit of a timeout here. What do you think Vision are saying to their teammates at this stage? 3-0 down to Trinity.
That's a very good question. I imagine Vision will Vision will put on their zone at some point. We'll see how that works in the wind. Earlier on, playing another game, there was a crosswind, so Vision's cup against the sideline worked very nicely. I imagine that they could probably use it very effectively up and downwind, as it has kind of become. Though now that I look at the flags, it's sort of swirling crosswind again. And even so, all the chemistry between the ex-juniors players and the current XVI players will give them an advantage moving, in and around a cup like that, and being able to break the force and really just kind of do whatever they want around the back, and then hopefully have an option deep. They have the throwers to throw big throws even in the wind, so we might see that, we might not. It depends on Trinity's game plan, which they did not divulge to me, unfortunately, but hopefully we'll see it at some point.
That would be giving away too much.
Absolutely.
Vision looking like a lot of ex or alumni from University of Liverpool, so maybe they have a lot of experience playing together as well, with a few extra people on their team list on a stag do. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'm not sure what to make of that. I mean, a lot of younger players there for sure, and congratulations to Dave on his
Dave and Alice.
Dave and Alice, yes.
Getting married next year.
Next year, wow.
Dave seemed enthusiastic when I suggested having the wedding at Siege 2020, but we'll have to pitch the idea to Alice, see if we can get the party theme as wedding.
That would be amazing. Yeah, that sounds like a very good idea.
So as we get back to the game, James Doherty is putting his hand up for the pull. A tall man.
Very tall man. Some might say that he is 6'4".
I would say that he is taller than that.
I would also have said that he's probably taller than that.
And he throws a very high pull anyway. Back over towards the commentator's box over here again.
Yeah, nearly have a bit on it ourselves. Yeah, James playing for Ireland under 24 this year. He's told us here that twirling in circles helps him deal with stress. I'm not 100% sure how that works.
He must not be stressed, as he wasn't twirling in any circles that time.
That must be
for that pull. So Vision with the disc. Paddy Hart throwing it down to Nick Brownbill, who can't quite make it in the end zone there. Those two lads seem like they're trying to work through them the majority of the time. And James Doherty is going to get it at the back of the end zone. JJ making a good play there to try to keep the disc in bounds, but can't quite make it. Vision with it again. Paddy trying to pass it off to Nick. Can't quite get the hands on it there. Bobbly disc in this tricky wind. Paul with the disc in the center, looking for somebody downfield, passes it back to James. Cutters don't seem to quite know who's going first. JJ tries to get it, but the disc goes up in the air. That's Tom Oxford, passes it down to Nick. Vision trying to make some good gains on these discs now and trying to get back some points that they've missed. Oh, good catch in the air, but seems to come down hard on his shoulder. That's an injury call there on the pitch.
Yeah, very good hands there between two defenders. A difficult catch to make, and then including in the wind as well. We'll see who's coming on now as well.
Number 1, Oliver Brown coming on. one of the older players on the team. Maybe we won't divulge his age, but his fun fact is he's great at being succinct. So maybe he can help Vision slot this one in and get a point on the board. Close into the goal there. Alex with the score, throwing it to Nick. That's very apt. What do you think, Josh?
Yeah, absolutely. Succinct by fun fact, succinct by nature, as they say. That was a good, very good. I guess red zone goal line, conservative play. Not 100% sure who got beat where, but somebody got beat to the front of the end zone along the end zone line. So that is a good goal. Nice, easy, not easy, but nice conservative goal, I guess, which is what Vision will need to get through this win.
So it says on my team list that Nick is 50 years of age, and he's actually the stepfather of one of the players on this squad. They didn't tell me who he's the stepfather of, but I'd say that's a fun household, playing lots of frisbee.
Absolutely, we can leave it as an exercise to the viewer to try and figure out
who's the stepson.
Yeah. But I guess it'll help with communication between parents and children, maybe, perhaps. That's very good.
So Vision now pulling to Trinity. Let's see if they can keep this one in bounds. And looks like they might manage to do that. Lovely pull right up to the brick mark of Trinity. So that's James over to Jack Mack this time. And Jack Mack throwing a big one up for a great D by Vision. That's fantastic. Flying through the air to stop Nolan from getting that disc.
Absolutely, yeah. That was a very, very good bid. Nice and clean as well. Good, I shouldn't make this joke, but good vision to see that the disc was going to sit there and that he could make a play on it.
Appropriate.
Jack Mack taking that shot. He has down here that he's Ireland's best O-line handler, so makes sense that he'll be making those big throws for sure.
Number 22 throwing it into James, who gets the defense. Jack Mack stopping the roll, and James running over to pick it up. Vision are throwing on their zone here now, which is what you thought that they should do, Josh.
Perhaps.
JJ not quite getting a hand to that disc, and Vision picking it up again in the middle.
I do like, though, that Trinity's first look was backwards out of the cup and then to swing around. That was something that the team Vision played earlier today used to see struggle to do. So hopefully Trinity will be able to really punish Vision's rounds on the cup and get it moving. Unfortunately not executed there, but we'll see now next time that happens. Another turn.
Another turn from Vision there, and James picks it up and hooks it straight away to JJ, who can't quite make that bladey disc that goes out the back of the end zone.
Perhaps an element of hook and D being played here, which seems apt given the conditions.
That was always a tactic of ours when I was in college anyway.
And it works, I've no doubt it works for sure.
This is the best place to practice it anyway, in windy Limerick.
We'll see if Vision respond in kind and try a similar tactic. They don't seem to have so far. They had one or two big shots recently, or in the last few points, but nothing in the last point or two, I would have said. So
Hately getting it off the line and swinging it around the back there, trying to pop it over the top. Oh, and getting a great disc. Lovely hands over to the Vision player in the middle, passing it off to a lot of the players here are called Alex, so I'm just going to go with Alex as a default name. Hately, going through the hands, bobbly disc. Once again, that Limerick wind really
really getting the best of them, perhaps. Yeah. Hopefully. Well, unfortunately, we have another disc picked up by the wind and sailed over there. I see on our list of previous clubs here for Vision, there's a player who's played with Dublin Gravity, I assume, unless there's another Gravity.
There's possibly a Gravity in the UK as well. I'm not sure.
guess there's gravity everywhere.
A free plug for Dublin Gravity, my club, who we have women's and men's team at this tournament this weekend. Back to the game here, walking it up from the end zone line to the middle of the pitch, the full 65 meters to work it down. Some cutters working hard downfield to make space for the handler, and he gets it across to number 28, who I don't have on my team list, so I don't know who that is. They haven't put down the right numbers.
Some interesting poachy defense, or help defense as you might call it, from Trinity.
And that's Jack Tabeno, is it?
I think so. But Jack Tabeno to Jack.
Great score from Trinity there. So that's 4-1 to the team from Dublin.
Very good. That was very conservative play at the end there. Very very nice.
Conservative play and
perhaps not so conservative celebration that I'm sure they also practiced last night. I noticed that Jack Mac doesn't have a number on, so that's a good way we can distinguish them perhaps. Benno, a player on the German under-24 team, adding to the large contingent of under-24s players on Trinity's team. Somebody said 7 out of the 13 players or so are under-24s players. I counted 8, but maybe I miscounted. But yeah, Benno from Munich. They've asked us not to mention the war, so we won't.
You just have?
Don't mention it.
Under-24 is happening in Germany this year, and I think there's a lot of under-24 players across a lot of teams here at Siege this year. I know the 2 GB under-24 teams have come over to start off their season. Hopefully they get some good practice in the wind. Hopefully it won't be this windy in Germany. That's a flick pull down to Vision. Oliver Brown passes it off to Nick Brownbill, who hooks it straight away. Oh, to the outstretched hand of the cutter, who can't quite get a grip on that. And Trinity have the pleasure of working it back up the field.
I can't quite tell if it's just a perfectly perpendicular crosswind, or if there's maybe a little bit of an angle on it, because it seems that Trinity are nearly playing upwind here, a little bit. Perhaps that's just me. The wind has died a little bit, but it's very blustery, so we'll see.
Paul and Jack there at the back, passing off to number 69, Stephen Ryder, or is that Nolan? And unfortunately, I've lost sight of the disc, and I think it's a turnover going to Vision. So Brown bringing it up to the line, and a free player right in the middle of the pitch passes it off to Brownbill. And number 77 can't quite get a hand on it this time either. Alex Haitley is doing Trojan work downfield, going deep.
There's a great adjustment there at the end. You can see him try and start running downwind to try and catch the disc as well. And nearly got a hand to it, I would have said, but there was some very good defense happening too.
So Brennan with the disc in the middle to Cleary, to Young, and one of the Trinity catching it straight outside the end zone. Shearman, number 9. Foul on the goal line. Can he stay cool-headed? And can Trinity slot this one in to be their 5th point?
See Andy Cleary, number 90, standing in a very, very dangerous spot there. He's very good at getting free in very tight spaces and zones.
Oh, and
that's
Shearman passing it off to Jack for another Trinity goal. 4 points up there.
That's a very athletic jump in from Jack Mack. We'll hopefully get to perhaps see it again at some point, but Jack Mack, having practiced that kind of jump in all indoor season, it's interesting to see it outdoors now too. Much more difficult outdoors, I would have said.
So what are Trinity doing that Vision can't quite manage in this wind, Josh?
I would say Trinity are working their unders a little bit more than Vision are. Vision always looking for an inside breaker and a round break, which is obviously a good idea too, but some of them floating up into the wind, or perhaps not having quite enough flick on them and are blading over to one side, and makes them much more difficult to catch. So Trinity keeping a lot of their throws just a little bit flatter, a little bit easier for the receiver to catch, to run onto if it needs to be.
You can see a lot of the work being done by the cutters downfield to make a lot of space deep to make sure those unders are wide open for the receivers, so that the throwers don't have to work so hard to make some magic every single time on the break side. That's Trinity bricking the pull, or did it land in bounds, and Vision are looking for a disc.
I think they're looking for the television match official as well, by the looks of Jack Max. Another very precarious position for Vision to find themselves in. They also have the full length of the pitch. And your point about Trinity's cutters. Sorry,
Jack running to the front of the end zone to try slot this one in again, and gets it over to Paul for the score.
That's great stuff. Again, we have that Gonzaga XVI connection, or also a junior connection. So we see another very interesting celebration. I believe that's the XVI pommel horse celebration, perhaps. Maybe an interesting variation on it. But that point you were making about Trinity's cutters making a lot of space for the unders to come off is I think an excellent point, because we see their Vision kind of clogging in front of their handler, you might say. So their handler's picking it up on the sideline, and there's two cutters standing in front of him waiting for him to swing it. But there's no if you can't get the swing off and there's nobody cutting under, or cutting deep for that matter, then it's a much more difficult throw. So perhaps we'll see Vision adjust that. They had no problem throwing those inside breaks in their previous match, so we'll see if the wind will either affect them or if they'll adapt.
So Trinity waiting to pull to Vision again. James with the pull. Will he keep it in bounds? And he gets a nice roller outside. They're the most useful pull here in Limerick. Get the opponent trapped on the sideline, and Vision slowly walk it over. They set up in a 3-4, possibly to isolate that deep space, so let's see if they can push it deep. Brown with the disc, Hart in the middle, inside break to Brown Bill. And Vision making some nice space deep there. Hart again. Looking to work it through Brown Bill again. Will he get the inside break? He will. On the end zone line, can they keep it cool? Working really hard, just these two handlers here working. And Hart passes it off to number 5, Sam Beach. That was a really great score there from Vision. A really different play to what they've been doing so far. Josh, what do you think they changed that time?
Very good question. Again, they were throwing a lot of inside breaks, as we saw, for sure. I suppose this time they were perhaps a little bit more flick on them. They were maybe clearing a little bit further up the line to get the sort of the 7 cut back to the break side. And then otherwise, I suppose the throws that they were looking for were much shorter throws. There was nothing, none of their throws, none of their backhands were air bouncing up over the players. It was even just.
And a lot of the cutters were making a lot of space deep that time.
Sorry, yes, absolutely. Exactly, and then they were able to slot it into the front of the end zone. So great stuff from Vision there.
So Hart and Brownbill doing the majority of the work there. Do we think that Brownbill is possibly the stepfather of Hart? Or is that
Perhaps
our
that's
new
where
working hypothesis for
absolutely. We can, yeah, let's go with that for a while. We'll see. We'll, make some
both players are now off, so can Vision do without those two primary handlers? Big pull up, floating in the air. I think it might be going out for a brick, hitting the flagpole,
There's one of the cars.
and Trinity walking to pick it up. Paul McDonough with the disc.
Paul, a very, very wholesome character. Does a lot to maintain that that persona. He has a portrait of his dog, Ted. Ted spelled with 2 D's at the end in his house, which I think is a lovely, lovely touch.
Paul pivoting, getting it over to Jack, who bobbles it but catches it again. Straight away throwing a massive flick hook to outstretched hands of Nolan Young. That was a tricky catch, and he had the hands to it, but it's hard in this in the cold weather here, about 7 or 8 degrees in Limerick at the moment, so the hands are a bit chilly. I've got a nice coffee to warm my hands at the moment.
Absolutely, and not what Nolan is used to, playing for the Spanish under-24 Open team. I'm sure he's used to playing on the beach in mid-20s degrees. So we'll see. He's definitely adapted very well to the Irish climate. Given as well that he only has 1 ACL, so we'll see how this AstroTurf fares. It's very difficult on the knees, I would have said.
So Vision picking it up there, and Trinity getting the turnover, working it down. That's Nolan with the disc, throwing it into one of the Trinity players in the end zone, Benno, for the score.
Absolutely fantastic play there, working it up the break side, and again, as you said, their cutters were very disciplined and stack, staying over onto the open side so that the break side is open for the inside break, and it was a lovely inside break from Nolan as well.
So we have a nice mix of under 24 nationalities on this team, Josh.
Absolutely,
a Spanish, a German, and an Irish man come down to Limerick. Sounds like the start of a joke.
Yeah, I imagine they'll walk into the bar later on as well, probably.
6-1, I think, at the moment. So Trinity really pulling ahead here. Looks like the timeout has been called. I wonder if this is from Vision or from Trinity. I think it looks like it's a Vision timeout call. Probably looking for that magic they found on their last score.
Very true. I think actually the score might be 7-2, so I think that might be half. But even so, if I was Vision as well, I'd be a little bit worried. Perhaps as time marches on, it's going to get harder to get on the break train and catch up. Not that teams haven't come back from 7-1 down on Trinity, but still, they didn't win that match, and Vision are going to have a big job to do to get back up with Trinity.
So it's 7-2 with 35 minutes to go. So there's still a lot of time for them.
Okay, yeah, that's not too bad.
In this second half. Can they pull it out of the bag? I suppose. Did they come off straight from another game, Josh?
Vision did, yes. They beat UCC very completely. I believe the score was about 11-2 or 11-3. So that was a strong win to come into this game with. Perhaps it took a little bit out of them, or perhaps they were a little bit out of breath. I know they ran immediately over here, so maybe didn't have a chance to take a breather. But
would have been an early game for them, 8:30 and straight into there.
Yeah, absolutely as well. And I wonder, I presume they came over last night. But even so, having to travel that far is going to put a bit of pressure on you as well.
And this will lead nicely into Trinity's IV season, their opener men's gender season, as mixed is over now.
Absolutely, Trinity coming off a very strong win at mixed IVs. You're right, and now yes, looking to do the same thing, I suppose, at open and outdoor. At open and women's IVs in 2 weeks and 3 weeks or something like that. Coming up very very soon, and
this is a great warm up for them. So
absolutely, a warm up that Trinity haven't had in past years. Last year with Siege being cancelled because of the weather, and the year before that I think we forgot to sign up or something like that on time. But so Trinity in the past haven't really had a huge amount of playing time together, so it's good to see them getting that development in, getting that chemistry going. It was interesting seeing them play at Cork Open way back before, at the very end of last season as well. They had a lot of big shots coming off from Jack Mack to Nolan. They had some much less experienced players doing a lot of very, very good stuff, playing a lot of good ultimate.
And XVI, the club that a lot of these players play for, coming off some great wins over at EUCR in Birmingham last August.
Yeah, last August I believe it was. Yeah, for sure. I think it was a 5th place finish.
It's fantastic.
Absolutely.
For the guys.
Much better than what was predicted, which I think the team was very, very happy with. I think there was the prediction was somewhere between 8th and 13th or something like that. So to come in 5th, that was absolutely what they were looking for. Given that at the time they were missing a lot of experienced players had taken the summer to go working. So this year will be a big year for them. We'll see how they do.
And the pull comes up from Heart of Vision down into the end zone to McDonough, who passes it off to Brennan. Going to work it around the back here. Looks like a bit of a zone look from Vision. A hammer across, and Trinity managed to get that one out of a crowd. Working it up, marching it up the field here. Jack Mack coming through the middle. Cleary with the disc, back to Jack. He's looking for the scoobers straight into the end zone and right over the head of the receivers. That's unfortunate. They look like they had some great momentum there, Josh.
Absolutely, yes. Perhaps the momentum going to their heads just a little bit. Jack Mack liking to take those shots though, and certainly playing some very entertaining ultimate. And you know that throw is only a very small bit over Benno's head, and Benno has come down with even crazier throws. So definitely the right option, I would have said nearly.
So that's Hart. Oh, can't quite make it to Brownbill this time. Brennan's going to pick it up and pass it into Cleary in the middle. Paul looking for the disc right behind Cleary and getting it inside through to Brennan again and straight to the front of the end zone to Young for the score.
That's some very, very succinct play there as well. No questions can be asked of it, really. Nolan Young utilising his one ACL very well.
Which one is it, Josh?
That's a very good question. He wouldn't tell me. I guess the one that looks less muscly. the muscles in his other leg just got very, very big and took over. So I hope that helps. See Mr. Sherman there.
Shearman.
Shearman, excuse me. He's been playing for an uplifting number of years.
And if he divulged his previous club, he would be in contempt of the Irish court system. So a bit of a mystery to us here up in the in the commentators' booth.
Very much so. We'll see how he plays. See if he's a bit of a mystery on the pitch as well.
So that's 8-2 to Trinity coming out of half. That's a really nice break for them.
Absolutely, keep their momentum up now that they have quite a lead on Vision. I believe as well, as I was walking over to ask them about their plans for the game, they had a very interesting chant. They were chanting late start, because if they win every game today, they get a late start tomorrow, which obviously is very, very valuable.
Very elusive after the infamous siege party. That's a big pull coming up from Brian, going to the back corner of Vision's end zone, just staying in bounds there, and Vision running to go pick it up. Looking for a dump off the line here. Good defense from the dump defenders, working really hard there. Good footwork. Brown with it in the middle, passing it back. Losing a few yards there, but getting back into the middle of the pitch, which is where Vision should want it.
Interesting dishy pass and win there, but it's come off.
Some really nice inside throws there from Vision, but can't quite get the hands to that one, and Doherty will pick it up. Connolly in the middle, and will he look straight deep? Some nice work there from the cutters downfield to make space. Shearman in the number 9 jersey, I think. It says McDonough on our sheet, but Brennan catches it in the end zone for another Trinity score. I missed you through that one now.
I think it may have been Andy Cleary with a very interesting backhand hook around and across and over the stack. I haven't seen Andy Cleary take many shots like that, so it's good to see him. It's good to see him developing that, and some interest or some very solid play before that as well, with Connor Shearman on the disc throwing a kind of an inside break to Andy Cleary as well, and then Andy Cleary sending it. We see those discs fading as well in the wind, making it much harder to catch. But Trinity doing a good job to keep the disc alive.
I think the score is 9-2 now, Josh. Trinity scoring two straight breaks out of half. They'll be delighted with that.
Absolutely. Very good show of ultimate in the wind here. Given that they're missing a couple of players, one of their biggest players that they're missing today is Mr. Peter Ho or Hoff. We're not 100% sure.
He still doesn't know if his name rhymes with Coffer, though.
This is true. Yeah, Coffer, though. Who knows?
Hoff or Coff or Ho. Young with the disc in the middle now, looking for Connolly for the dump, who gets those lovely inside backhands, and a lefty backhand from Paul into number 24, Aaron Heary, in the end zone.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, that was Aaron Heary for sure. Aaron Heary telling us that he can vibrate his eyeballs, but he can also catch a disc in the end zone. But you know, the throws there making it very easy to catch the discs. You can just see the difference that a lot of these Trinity discs are just have more flick on them, so they're kind of sitting nicer in the air. They're not wobbling or fading over to one side. So when you're a receiver, it's much easier to catch. You have a lot more confidence in catching it. I just checked my notes as well that Peter Ho actually isn't missing today. He's being rested. He said he was only going to play.
Rested for the party, is it?
For the
Josh?
party, perhaps. Who knows? Peter doesn't really, I don't think, party too much. But what he does do is that he wants to play. He'll only play if he's playing Pelt or if he's playing the final. And he wants the heavy matchup in Pelt. He wants the big matchup.
Is that an ambitious goal for Trinity, the final?
Perhaps not. I think they'll certainly be looking for it. I think they have the experience to do it. Perhaps they also have the ambition to do it. This is certainly a very strong display of frisbee. So we'll see how they fare against one of the big clubs or one of the higher seeds. I assume in a crossover we'll see. Perhaps won't see one of those matchups, but definitely early tomorrow. Then we'll have some very interesting games.
So that point started off with Jack Mack with a great pull down to the bottom, goes for a layout D and possibly gets a hand to that block. Not sure if it's a call here on the pitch, but working like a Trojan there to get the D back and get another point on the board for Trinity. Some discussion happening on the field here. Not sure if it's a foul call, foul uncontested there from Jack. Let's see if he can get a clean block this time. So Vision really using those inside flicks a lot, and Hart throws it, a big one up to Brownbill. Will he get there? No, James, he just gets his hand to it and stops Vision from getting a point in this half of the game.
Putting a lot of pressure on the throw there, and it's a difficult enough catch with the wind bobbling the disc, so good pressure there from the Trinity defense.
So that's Doherty over to McNamara, who gets an inside flick there to Cleary. Looking for his dump. James gets a nice dish off up the line. Throws flick over. Can Jack get it? He does a flip, but can't quite catch the disc there. Some nice athletic play today from Jack.
We love to see it. We love to see it. And we expect it from Jack as well, for sure. He's absolutely a very athletic character. Remember at the end of the last IB season at Open Outdoors in the semi-final, Jack doing a similar move and fractured his collarbone, but didn't seem to realize. I don't think. He said it was very sore, but just didn't
no, he's obviously not carrying any anxiety around any injuries again. Vision turning over there, but the disc rolling all the way into Trinity end zone, and Costello picks it up, passing it off to Cleary. Costello actually alumni of Trinity, and I think he's coaching the team this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just going to say that I saw him in the huddle there doing his best impression of a coach, trying to emulate his heroes, I've no doubt. But no doubt doing a good job, and I'm happy to see him playing here as well. Would I be right in saying Costello playing on the senior men's team?
Senior men's team this year, I think,
EC,
Josh.
yeah, very good.
So it'll be nice to have that bit of experience and skill from a coach, and maybe reassurance on the pitch.
Absolutely.
For Trinity.
He's cool, he's calm, and I'm sure he's collected as well. It was a pick call there, I believe. This going back to the thrower.
So Hart on the disc at the moment, being marked by Brennan. He's looking for his dump. Coming back is Brownbill. Again, that connection really working well for Vision today. Up the line to Hart. Will he shoot it into the end zone? Looking for Beach number 5. Can't quite find anyone. Brownbill running up the line. High stall. Will he get it? And Brownbill manages to save that one. Still outside the end zone in the red zone. Brownbill to number 31, Nicholson, for the goal. That's some really nice play from Vision. Some really hard work in the handler position.
Absolutely. Vision using their up the lines all the time. They're really punishing Trinity on that up the line, and Trinity seemingly not able to shut it down. And also an interesting score there. I think it was number 31 found himself, Alex Nicholson found himself pretty much open at the front cone, which is exactly what you want to score. So Trinity, I assume, will look to shut that down. We'll see how that goes.
That handler set really working well for Vision at the moment.
Absolutely. Hopefully they'll be able to start utilizing some of those big throws then as well, once their handler set can move it to a power position.
And the cutters can start getting their timing a bit more in this wind. It's really tricky for the downfield players to get a handle on it, because they might have timed their cut and then the wind will bobble the disc, and some of the timing could be put off.
Absolutely.
For that.
Yes, that's true. As a downfield cutter, I can certainly attest to that. As a handler, what do you think?
As a handler, I don't notice what the cutters do. They just need to get free.
Very good.
So Vision throwing a nice blade up to Paul McDonough, yeah, and Brian at the back. Brian throwing a big backhand hook. Can the Vision player get it? Oh, lays out, and the Trinity player can't quite get his hands to it there. Crozier.
Yeah,
Crozier.
that sounds about right.
Does it? It doesn't sound right.
I think he pronounces it Crozier, but
Crozier.
now that you said it, I haven't heard him say it. I would just call him Benno. By and large, we call him Benno.
Just Benno.
But that I would have said an uncharacteristic misread from Benno. Usually, even on those pressured throws, even when the disc is coming in and bobbling like that, he seems to always be able to get a hand to it. So good pressure there from the Vision defense.
So Brown with the disc, looking for his dump up the line, getting free there, and number 77 boosting it up. And can number 25 come down with it? Nelson. That's the man of the day, and he can't quite make that. And Trinity working it at the back there.
Trinity have a very dynamic handler set there, very dynamic set of handlers, I should say.
Hately getting it over the top of Crozier again. That's a nice matchup.
That's very uncharacteristic again. I'm very impressed by the Vision player coming down with that over Benno.
So Brown looking for his dump here. High stall count, throws a blade across the pitch, and Jack needs it to stop that roll there. Connolly back to Jack and straight into Paul. That's a really nice score there from Trinity.
Very true, very true. They're really punishing Vision on the turns when once the disc hits the ground. Trinity are already in second or third gear, going to slot it in, whereas Vision are maybe struggling to put their defense on. That was also a very last minute bailout blade, I would have said, particularly in this wind. Not what Vision are looking for.
Handler set not quite working for them that time.
Yeah, absolutely. Perhaps it's Trinity shutting it down.
Some good downfield defense on the Vision cutters.
Yeah, hopefully we can. We'll look out for that now and see if the balance of the game will sway.
it's a tricky place to be caught on that far sideline with the wind behind your back and force it into the forehand position if you're not comfortable with different releases of that disc. It's a really tricky dump throw, I know myself anyway.
Have to high release nearly probably so that it comes down, yeah. Which one would you prefer, downwind or being on the downwind sideline or the highwind sideline? I assume the highwind sideline. But
the lefty backhand sideline, I think, is usually my go-to for those.
Sounds good. You can put spice. You can sprinkle a bit of spice on any sideline, I guess. Really.
So Vision waiting for a hand from Trinity, who are going to pull Connolly with the disc. Leader here on the Trinity side.
Absolutely. I think Brian Connolly also taking on some of the coaching tasks with Kieran, if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken with that, but certainly he was coaching last year.
And also a coach of the head coach of the under-17 boys team this year, which is brilliant for getting that team to European Ultimate Championships and continue the development of these young players, which is the system that he would have come up through.
Absolutely, it's great to see that for sure. You know, a player born and raised, so to speak, in that system, and then going back to get back to the system. Brian, I think, said that he started throwing about when he was about 13 or 14 maybe, throwing flicks and backhands. He didn't start playing then until maybe 2 or 3 years later, but it's amazing seeing somebody start playing that early.
So Cleary intercepting one of those dump throws from Vision, and a pick is called on the field there. Cleary is playing on, seemingly did not notice the pick call, and he gets it back again. He's another Gonzaga player who would have played with the likes of Jack and Brian.
Yeah. And Andrew making a big impact at that UK Nats UCR tournament in August. You can catch him on the highlights from one of the days, catching some really nice hooks.
Oh, an interception from Vision there, macking it straight to a Trinity player, gets it, and Vision just tap it down that time. Number 27, another Alex Head, managing to get a hand on that. And a big throw going up from Vision player. Brennan catching that, passing it over to Costello. Can he get it into the end zone? And that's a great score there from Trinity, really capitalizing on that big bladey throw.
Absolutely, again, yeah, just picking it up a gear once the disc was turned over. There was really no chance. I think that was Kieran Costello to Connor Shearman, perhaps? Yeah, I think so.
Mr. Mystery.
Mr. Mystery, yeah, Mr. Mystery Man himself. And before that, then we had, when we were on the sideline, or excuse me, on the goal line, before the last turn, before Trinity's turn, was Stephen Ryder. Oh, that's game. Oh, I lost. I should stop talking.
All right, well, the Ulster Commentators Box does not realize that Trinity have won the game 13-3 with a really convincing win over Vision from Liverpool. I'd say they'll be absolutely delighted with that scoreline and how they played. They just look so comfortable there in the wind. And so comfortable in the celebrations of their scores.
Absolutely. I would have said I would have expected to see celebrations throughout the whole thing, but yeah, good to see that energy from Trinity. I better run because we are playing them now, I think. So.
Well, good luck in that, and thank you all for listening to this game of Trinity against Vision. Trinity winning that game 13-3.